You're watching TimesXP. I'm Driti Atri, and here are the biggest stories making headlines across the globe today. So let's start with it. Russia-France naval clash here. Well, tensions soar between Russia and France after the French Navy seized the Russian tanker in international waters. Moscow immediately called it piracy, describing the entire act as a direct threat on Russia's maritime sovereignty. Their president, Mr. Putin, reportedly ordered, "Destroy them if they touch our ships," signaling readiness for retaliation. Fresh stand on seizure. French authorities insist that the seizure was legal and aligned with European Union sanctions on Russia. Paris says that the tanker was carrying goods banned under the sanction framework. But despite this, Russia's media, they frame the move as an act of aggression, heightening global tensions. Escalation risk at the sea. Well, experts warn that even a small mistake could actually trigger a larger military confrontation. With both nations' naval forces on high alert, miscalculations could escalate into open conflict. Well, global trade routes are being closely monitored as the world watches nervously. High stakes for Moscow right now. Well, for Russia, the Borisy incident is more than just a single ship. It's about demonstrating strength. Moscow is signaling that any interference in its maritime operation will have consequences. Putin's order highlights Russia's willingness to defend national pride at any cost. Venezuela-United States tension. More than 5 US F-35 fighter jets were spotted flying near Venezuela. Caracas says that this is a direct provocation, raising a lot of alarms about regional security. In fact, their defense minister, Vladimir Pedrino Lopez, he labeled it as rudeness, provocation, and a threat to national security. Venezuelan military on high alert right now. Be it troops, be it coastal defenses, be it civilian militia, all have been ordered to prepare for any possible aggression. Venezuelan authorities claim that the flights violate sovereignty and are designed to intimidate. Tensions rise as Mr. Trump's administration increases pressure on Maduro's government. Caribbean strategic concern right now. Well, the northern coast of Venezuela faces the Caribbean Sea, a crucial international trade and military route. Nearby, US military bases and regional allies make the area a high-stakes zone. Here, experts warn a misstep here could actually trigger a wider confrontation involving multiple nations. European protests over Gaza. Yes, you heard that right. Massive protests erupted across Europe in response to Israel's interception of a Gaza-bound aid flotilla. Well, cities affected include Paris, Madrid, Milan, where crowds demanded humanitarian access. Protesters clashed with the police in some areas, signaling a lot of frustration and anger at the blockade. Arrest of high-profile activists. Swedish activist Greta Thunberg and others were detained during the flotilla operation. Their arrest sparked international outrage and condemnation for human rights groups. Now here, supporters demand the immediate release of all the activists and a safe passage for the aid. Hamas urban warfare tactic. Hamas fighters planted explosives inside Israeli armored vehicle, destroying a tank near Tal al-Hawa. Well, the particular attack was part of Mossad staff operation, showing advanced urban combat strategy. Now here, experts warn that Israeli forces now face a more unpredictable battlefield with evolving threat. Israel-Gaza flotilla interception. Well, Israel intercepted ships carrying 500 activists, lawmakers, lawyers aiming just to deliver aid to Gaza. Well, detainees face potential deportation, with some held in strict security conditions. Here, Israel offered alternative legal channels also for aid, but activists and NGO questioned their effectiveness. Humanitarian and legal debate. Well, the incident raises global question about international law and humanitarian aid delivery. Activists argue that civilian effort to help should be protected under any cost, even in conflict zone. The entire situation spotlights the tension between national security and human rights obligations. Turkey arrests Mossad spy. Well, Turkey arrested Serkan Sisik, accused of spying for Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad. Well, the operation was a coordinated effort between MIT and local authorities. In the meantime, Turkey highlights its vigilance in preventing spying amid rising regional tensions. United States government shutdown begins. Well, the federal government officially shuts down after Congress failed to pass a budget. Many offices remain closed or operate at minimal capacity, affecting public services right now. Also, the shutdown affects millions, including visa processing, student programs, and permits. Impact on Indian visa holders: the massive. Indian H-1B, F-1, and dependent visa holders may experience indefinite delays. Renewals, green cards, work permits, immigration services all are slowed down or may be paused. In the meantime, students and professionals face uncertainty for travel and career planning. Indian students at risk right now: well, F1 and OPT visa holders face postponed work authorization. Legal restriction could prevent re-entry if documents are pending. In fact, families that rely on dependent visas may face months-long delays right now. An update for Indian tech professionals here: well, companies employing Indian workers in tech could actually experience a short-term staff shortages. Visa delays create stress for employees and businesses amid the project deadline. In the meantime, the shutdown disturbs the smooth functioning of critical tech operations. Online attack on Indian travelers. Operation Clog the Toilet targeted Indian-US flights on forums like 4chan. Users blocked tickets to artificially inflate air prices, specifically for the Indian H-1B workers. Now, here many reported that ticket prices skyrocketed overnight, causing a lot of panic and financial strain. Flight price spike fallout. Airlines' algorithms responded to fake demands, making real flights extremely costly. In fact, some travelers booked long connecting flights to reach the US on time. The campaign highlighted how online hate can directly impact real-world lives. Shutdown threatens federal jobs here. Well, White House warned that thousands of federal workers could soon lose their pay and jobs. Departments like health, education, transportation all are severely impacted by this. Essential services like military and law enforcement continue, but non-essential staff are frozen. Political standoff in Washington right now. Republicans blame Democrats for the shutdown, citing budget disagreements, but Democrats accuse Republicans of cutting crucial funding for social service. Both parties are locked in negotiations, while ordinary workers bear the consequences. Manchester attack on Yom Kippur. Well, a car and a knife attack outside synagogue killed 2 and injured several others. Well, police neutralized the suspect immediately, declaring a Plato alert. Well, the attack has heightened security at synagogues nationwide. Growing anti-Semitic threats in Europe, while experts link the incident to rising trend of attacks on religious minorities, specifically Jews, amid the Israel-Gaza conflict. Manchester's Jews community, previously targeted, is now on high alert. In fact, authorities are investigating the motive and reviewing the security protocols. Iran's missile warning. Well, Iran announces no limit on its missile range on the anniversary of True Promise 2. Well, threats target Israel, the US, bases in Gulf and parts of Europe. The warning signals Tehran's unwillingness to accept Western red lines. Israel rocket attacks on Yom Kippur. Hamas launches rockets on Ashdod during Israel's holiest day. Iron Dome intercepted 4 of the 5 rockets, but one landed in an open area. The timing chosen to maximize fear and disrupt the nation's calm. Oklahoma trucking crackdown. Well, over 130 commercial truck drivers arrested, including 28 illegal Indian nationals. Trucks were suspected for legal permits, compliance, and driver credentials. Around 90 trucks impounded, creating logistical and financial consequences for the companies. Immigration and road safety concern here. Well, authorities stress the operation was about both immigration and public safety. Well, trucks from sanctuary states were particularly scrutinized. The crackdown highlights debates over policy and enforcement priorities. Political narrative in US crackdown. Well, Trump administration credited for allowing stricter enforcement of immigration law. Public safety officials claim more sweeps will continue nationwide. In the meantime, debates continue over whether sanctuary policies fuel immigration work, specifically the illegal one, or protect the immigrants. Indian diaspora challenges. Indians faces backlash both online and offline amid visa and immigration pressure. In the meantime, tech officials excel in the US while undocumented workers face legal trouble. The entire community experiences a stark contrast between opportunity and risk. Global tensions overview. Well, from Russia-France naval clashes to Middle Eastern flare-ups, the world faces multiple crises right now. Be it Venezuela, be it Iran, be it Europe, all highlight heightened geopolitical risk. For Indians abroad and citizens at home, these events could directly impact lives, travel, and career. That's all for now. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and come back on TimesXP same time tomorrow for the latest news that matters the most. I'm Driti Atri. See you next time.